Just your average everyday trucker, keeping it real. I'm your host, Chris Blodgett, and you're listening to Real Talk Tuesday. Today's topic is going to be keep pushing towards your goals and don't let anything get in your way. Not even yourself. This is episode 107. Once again, guys, welcome. Appreciate you being here. The inspiration for tonight's topic is kind of goes along with what the moving forward steps. As you know how I'm always saying, keep moving forward. So today's topic kind of has to do with the moving forward steps that I took tonight. As you guys might have heard, or as you might remember from the previous episode, I think I might have mentioned that, like, I think my boss said like 2 or 3 weeks I should be doing, what was originally my regular run, going to Farina, Illinois and back for at least 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'd be back to doing Chattanooga and stuff. But they were going to make it a little more worth it because the difference between Chattanooga all week versus Farina all week is roughly a difference of about 1,200 miles. So Farina is about 540 round trip. Chattanooga is 306 round trip. So for a 5-day work week, it's like 1,500 miles versus like 2,700 miles for Farina. So it's quite a difference. And so I had to, like, last week I was doing Chattanooga all week, and I hadn't done anything else. I was looking at the mileage going, I know the mileage is not that great. I know that I'm not making that much. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this. And so I was up front with my boss. I literally messaged him, I think it was like the second day into my week, and it was like Tuesday, it was like Wednesday, I think. I messaged him and basically was like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, I'm definitely feeling a little bit of a difference compared to what I was doing before. I was like, I think I'm hitting like 1,500 miles versus like 2,700 when I was on Farina. I was like, and I'll be honest, sir, like, I love driving here, but if this is where I'm at, mileage wise, then I probably won't be here another 6 months. I said, hell, I might not even be here another 2 months. I was like, because pay wise, that might not even be like, you figure, let's say somebody's at like, because average driver, pay for where I'm at, we're paying about 60 cents a mile. Now, I know there's some contractors out there, especially for FedEx, that pay a little bit more, but I think they're usually like teams, like they make like 80 cents a mile, and I think I've heard of some jobs out there, it's like $1 a mile. But you know, you figure 60 cents times, let's say it's 1,000-mile difference. Let's say I was making 1,700 miles for Chad versus 2,700 miles for Farina. You're looking at least, as far if my math is correct, should be like $600, I believe. Because 50%, like it was 50%, like it was like 50 cents per mile, and you know it's 1,000 miles, and I'd be making 500. So yeah, it should be about 600, at least $600, dollar difference compared to what I was making before. And so, I thought, well, I'm gonna be blunt with them. I'm gonna be upfront. I'm gonna, just let them know where I'm at, because I was like, I've been here probably about a year and a half now, and I want him to know that, look, if I decide to leave, it's because like I've all of a sudden gone from making decent money with 2,700 miles to making shit with 1,500 miles. I mean, it's an easy run. I don't mind doing the Chattanooga run, but mileage-wise, I ain't getting paid shit. So it's like, all right, yeah, don't get me wrong, I love an easy day, but I also need to pay my bills. I need to put food on the table for my family. I need to be able to pay, there's things I'm still trying to pay off, some goals I'm still trying to accomplish, and of course, if I'm not making enough money to live, then I'm not going to be able to achieve those goals either, because I'm going to be struggling just to pay the basics, So I had to let him know. That's what he told me, that he, I'm going to talk to them and find out what's going on and stuff. And, I'm going to see if we can do anything about it to make it better. See if we can add at least an extra run on there. Add at least something, do something, that extra leg to add an extra 100 miles. That's all right, cool, And then when talking to me last Thursday or Friday, I think he called me, I think it was Friday night. And it told me that, I was going to be doing Farina for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that after that, I'd be probably get back to, I'd be the regular Chattanooga driver, but they would add an extra leg at the beginning. So instead of starting at 9 o'clock, I'd come in at 6 and probably do a run with a 53. So I was like, oh, good. So not having a set of doubles or 2 sets of doubles before having to do the chat run, because it's a set of doubles going to chat. And I was like, takes me a little bit to hook those up, and so I wouldn't be worried about time. And so he's like, no, I expressed that to them, that it has to be a single trailer because time's an issue, and you have to be able to get back there to do the Chattanooga run on time. I said, yeah, that's pretty much what I was arguing. So I'd come in at 6, do a run at Lebanon or Murfreesboro or Cookeville with a single, and then a single back to Nashville, and then I would do the Chattanooga run. So all right, cool. So Tuesday I came on, or Tuesday I got up, I checked logged in the app, and of course I had, Farina run. All right, cool. Even though I was told to go ahead and come in a little bit later because the team's running behind. So I was like, all right, no big deal. Came in, I think I started at like 4 o'clock. Got to Farina by 8:30, I think, and then the team had actually gotten there about 8:15, so I didn't have. So thankfully, they didn't have to wait too long, And it was the guy I used to meet up with out there, good old Dell. He kind of works from home now with his still with the same carrier, but he does their emergency on call at night. So basically, he's making a salary to be available on the phone. He goes to sleep at night still, but he has his phone, where they can call him and he'll wake up and answer the call and deal with whatever issues, if it's a breakdown or whatever. So that's pretty cool. But then every 90 days, so he can actually stay in the system with FedEx, he has to do at least 1 dispatch, which I'm like, that's kind of a cool setup. You can kind of retire but still stay active and drive every so often. I don't know if my carrier that I drive, or my company I drive for, I don't know if they would do that. Like, if once I get to the point I want to retire myself, be like, hey, like, I won't officially leave, but every 2.5, 3 months, I'll come on for like 2 or 3 weeks and, run a couple weeks and then go back to being off again for another couple months. So I can technically still be employed by them, but, come on every couple months, make a little bit of money with them, and basically be pretty much semi-retired again. Who knows? you know, I mean, I do it that way. It's like, hey, I'm retired, but yeah, come on, and I run for FedEx every little bit for a couple weeks. I think I think Dell was only going to run that one load, and then he'll be, you know, available as far as the emergency dispatch or whatever. You know, be available if they need him for like if they need a driver out of the blue, he'll run the next night probably. But so I ran this last couple days. Met up with Dell the first night, and then met up with the regular team. Good old Chuck and Joanne. You know, shout out if you guys are tuning into the podcast finally. But been meeting up with them the last 2 nights, and then today I woke up and checked the board. Of course, I didn't have anything listed, and so I messaged my boss. I was like, "Hey, I don't see anything, or nothing, I'm not seeing any loads on the board." And he's like, "Yeah, it's because you're doing these chat." Well, you know, it's interesting when you're going down the road in one direction, and in the median, facing the wrong direction on your side is a car. You see headlights facing you, and I'm like, oh, someone fucked up. It's like, there's like a tow truck that was facing the other direction, getting ready to tow him, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, someone screwed up. But, so I messaged my boss, and I basically let him know, hey, you know, like, there's nothing listed. He's like, yeah, it's because you're doing these chats today, because, you know, Atlanta, they for whatever reason, they sent Atlanta to Murfreesboro, not to Nashville. And I said, oh, okay. I was like, that makes sense. I was like, you know, it wouldn't really be that hard for them just to send me to Murfreesboro to pick that load up and bring it to, you know, then head on with it to Farina. He's like, yeah. But the only problem is they won't do that because it's not technically a Nashville run. It's, you know, we're just a stopping point. We're like the middle ground. They bring it to Nashville, we take it to Farina, and then Farina, the Minnesota crew, we swap with them, and we bring their load back to Nashville, and then the Atlanta crew picks it back up and takes the Minnesota trailer to Atlanta. So basically, it's between Atlanta and Minnesota, and I keep being told it's not a permanent run, it's not permanent dedicated, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but we've been doing this for like 3 years now. What it sounds like, I've been doing it for a year. It sounds like it'd been going on for 2 years before that. And it, you know, being told the whole time, oh, this load can go away anytime soon, or this load can just disappear on us anytime now because it's not a permanent run. Even though we've been doing it, it's not a permanent dedicated. So I don't know if it's going to become a permanent dedicated or if it's going to stay like it is right now. Who knows? But to get back to the topic at hand, though, you know, keep working towards your goals. Don't let anything get in your way, including yourself. What I mean by that, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, but I have this. I struggle with it, especially when I'm dealing with the uncertainty of, hey, am I doing Farina or am I doing Chattanooga? Am I gonna have decent miles, have an okay paycheck, or am I gonna struggle a little bit this week? Because of course, when I, you know, on the weeks if you don't make enough to pay your bills, or you know, you pay your bills but you don't have money to really put food on the table, and you know, or put enough food on the table, like you end up having to basically just you eat cheap pretty much. That's why I know it's like eating healthy wise. I love pasta. Don't get me wrong. Like I love pasta. I love, you know, the cheeseburgers, fries, whatever, you know. But I know that, you know, whenever I'm actually able to achieve what I'm after, I know that I probably won't eat those as often. I'll probably focus more on like fish and veggies, you know, eating actually, because I'll also be going to the gym and working out and whatever. So I will, you know, allow myself to eat the things I want, like tacos and stuff like that, you know. But I'll be focusing a lot more on trying to be healthier, because you know how it is out there, like to actually be like healthier and stuff, as far as like your diet and stuff. It's not cheap, you know. Like it's it's weird. It's more expensive for us to actually the food that's easiest and most affordable is the food that's not the healthiest. Like, you know, mac and cheese, you know, spaghetti, all food that's amazing, you know. Hell, spaghetti and like the cheesy garlic bread, you know, really amazing, but really not good for you. We changed it up a couple times into like what they call the zoodles, where it's noodles that they made out of, you take like zucchini and then you take the spiral little kitchen gadget that's called the spiraler, I believe, and you put it in there and it spirals out what looks like a noodle from these veggies. So it's like looks like a green noodle, but it's actually a vegetable versus the pasta. I've done that a couple times. That's actually not too bad. You know, do something like that with something like chicken parm or whatever, and so you feel like you're still eating an Italian dish with pasta with red sauce and whatnot, but you're actually eating veggies with that chicken parm. So, but so I kind of get in my own way a lot, you know. Not on purpose, but it just happens. Like I'll get to the point where I'm stressed and depressed about stuff because, like, you know, obviously looking at the goals I have, looking at where I want I would really love for my family to be right now, which is not where we are. You know, would love for us to already be in a house. Would love for to not be struggling financially and stuff. And I know that, like, hell, but I felt that way about before I got my truck, you know, my Ram. I was stressing for a couple of years because I'd be out here and I would see a crew cab pickup truck pass me, and it was, oh man, you know, you basically would be drooling over that, you know. Like, oh man, someday I'll be able to get my truck, you know. And then of course I had the dog attack when I was doing the package delivery side of FedEx instead of the trucking side, and I got that settlement. Was able to put a big down payment down. I was still, you know, out of a 40 grand purchase price of my truck, still had I think it was like 35 afterwards, you know, and I've been paying $200 every week for it, except for the last probably year. I started paying $50 extra on my payments, so $250 every week to pay that down a little quicker. And I'm down, I think, after today's payment, because I pay it every Friday at the time of this recording, that is, you know. Even though this is, you know, Real Talk Tuesday, but you know how it is, producing the episode early. But at the time of recording, just got another payment in this morning, and I actually had to pay last week's a couple days ago because, you know, with last week's schedule, I was working so many overnights that I think I got home at like 7 a.m. Friday morning, and I had stopped and put some gas in the truck before I headed home, and I realized that when I looked at the times, my payment runs at 6:15. So basically, what I have to do is I have an alarm. I usually have an alarm set on my phone saying unlock your card for your truck payment to run, to kind of remind myself, because usually I'll remember, but sometimes, you know, especially if I get home late, I'm gonna go to bed 2 hours before that happens. I'll set an alarm so it wakes me up a couple minutes before it's gonna run. I'll go on the banking app, unlock my card, I'll wait, and then it'll, you know, I'll get the little pop-up alert saying, you know, this such and such purchase, whatever, and I'll go ahead. Okay, cool. Go ahead and lock my card back up, and then basically roll over, and go back to sleep. You know, I'm looking forward to when the truck's paid off, and I won't have to worry. That'll be like a little bit less stress than Fridays. I'll be like, cool, I can just go to bed. I don't have to worry about waking up, making that payment, and going back to sleep. But I've been doing that. That's how I've been doing it for the past couple years. You know, because it's a shorter term. So it's like 4 years instead of like 6. You know, because that they're like, well, it's a shorter term. We have shorter terms on our loans that we give you, so that way you build equity faster in your vehicle, whatever. And like, you know, when you pay it off, you still have quite a bit of equity. You know, it's still worth a lot. But they also have other restrictions, like I'm not allowed to use my truck for ride share and stuff like that. You know, without basically invalidating, my contract or whatever. Which I assume that's because that's so that if I were to come back to them, like if anybody does because it's financed, it's car loan through the dealership, one of those, but it's reported on my credit, as a car loan or whatever, so it works. But if you bring the vehicle back to them to trade up to upgrade, towards the end or whatever, they don't obviously want you to have like 300,000 miles on it before you trade it back in, because then it won't be worth as much. They'll be like, well, we'll give you like 1,000 for it. That's kind of why, honestly, I've never bought through Carvana, and my truck, I did not buy it through Carvana either. But before doing the trip on for July 4th or whatever, we I was curious, so I was putting feelers out there. Went online, put my truck information, how many miles it has on it, condition of it, which is pretty good. It's it has a paint chipped here and there, but otherwise it's in really good shape. And of course, like Carvana, I've always seen all their advertisements. Like, oh, well, we'll give you top dollar for your car. I'm like, oh, cool, all right, So I thought, well, I'm curious, So I went on there and I put my truck information in there, thinking that it, maybe 15 to 20, that my truck should be worth 15 to 20, Carvana was like, we'll give you, they basically offered me 1,000. It was like, and then they gave you a really good offer with $1,000, and if you trade it in, we'll give you another $70 on top of that. Oh, okay, so if I trade my truck that I paid $40,000 for, which I'm not expecting to get $40,000 for it, trade my truck and then paid $40,000 for it, and it's, I know it's in good condition, doesn't have any mechanical issues, physically it looks great. You're telling me that your amazing offer is $1,070. At the time, I still owed roughly close to $5,000 on it. And I'm like, that won't even pay off my loan. So of course, then if you trade it in with them, you take that $1,070, and then they would have to roll the $4,000. You still owe into your loan on your neck on the car you're trading in for. And I was like, that sucks. I was like, so that right there told me, yeah, I'll be buying a car through Carvana anytime soon, because that kind of turned me off on them, thinking, so you advertise that you give these top dollar offers, and so I was curious, so I went through another dealer online, and I did the same thing, put my truck information in there, and immediately they came back with like a I think it was like $15,000 offer, and I was like, no, that's a lot better. I didn't do it, because I thought, yeah, but if I sell it, I'm gonna have to but I was curious, and so I went on Kelley Blue Book and kind of put in the specs that said like private party, it was roughly like $14,500, and like retail probably like 19.5. So they're cool. Sounds about right. So I kind of shook my head at the Carvana offer. It's like, all right, I'm not that desperate. I was like, at that offer, I'd rather just pay it off and drive it around knowing I own it. Don't be desperate out there, guys. Don't be desperate. If you're in that situation at all where you have something that's you've almost got it paid for, and someone offers you like a lowball offer, it's worth a hell of a lot more. Don't do it. Don't do it. It ain't worth it. Even if you need the money, it's still not worth it. Like if you have something like, for instance, a vehicle worth 15, and somebody says, "I'll give you 3, or I'll give you 2, or I'll give you 1," and you're like, "Well, I really need the money to pay such and such bill." Yeah, but within however many months, you could have that vehicle paid off, and you won't owe anything on it. Hang in there. It's not worth it. So, back to tonight's topic a little bit. Kind of keep getting on these little rants, but so yeah, basically, I deal with certain, I get into certain what I call funks, where, like things are really tight. I you get really stressed out because like, get like bills, or thinking about how like you're basically thinking about the future. Well, I guess the point that I had with when I was talking about the truck was that for years I'd been, looking at all these trucks that would pass me and stuff, and I'd be thinking like, oh man, I remember one of those, like my dream. It was basically my dream vehicle. Some people, oh, my dream vehicle is like a Mustang. Other people like, my dream vehicle is a Porsche. I'm like, no, I've always loved trucks, and I've always wanted, for a while since I was with my ex-wife, so probably going on at least 20 years. Initially it was a quad cab pickup truck, but then later on they came out the crew cab, so of course that kind of like evolved. But first year or two that my ex-wife and I were together, we went to a dealership because they had like a 2001 blue Dodge Ram quad cab. And we didn't have the money to buy it. We didn't have money for a down payment, but we went there, and I think we test drove it. I went in there for a test drive to see what it's all about. And of course, we were like, well, we have to get the money. We have to like get the money together. We'll be in touch. He's all right, cool. But I loved it. I thought, oh man, this is amazing. Like I would love to own one of these. And the funny thing was, like, even though I didn't buy that truck. A little while later, we visited my parents. And my parents had purchased that exact make and model and color of truck. 2001 Dodge Ram quad cab, blue, identical to what I test drove. And I was like, holy shit, I can't believe you usually shit me. But, for years I wanted a truck like that, even though at one point I think I spent like $2,500. We used tax return money out in Iowa, and like we paid off. We had a little Chrysler Concorde. We paid that off, traded that in straight across because of the value of it. Straight across for a Jeep or a Ford Escape for my wife, and I put $2,500 to basically buy it was like a 1990, I think it was 92, I think, Ford F-250. It had the extended cab, so it wasn't the full cab, but it had the back seat that where the kids sat back there, where the seats kind of face from the side instead of sitting straight from the facing forward. So I had that truck for a couple years until we moved to Philly, and I would have kept it. Probably be driving that truck now. But when we moved to Philly, we didn't think we'd have anywhere. We didn't think they allowed truck parking anywhere until we got out there after I sold the truck, and we moved out there. And then I was like, well, shit, I could have kept my truck. I loved it. 2 tanks on that truck, so I could go like 700 miles. Like literally after about 300 or so miles, you hit the switch to flip the switch gas tanks. Keep driving. But then for years I was always looking out there, looking for just kind of like drooling every time a really nice, really fancy crew cab or quad cab pickup truck passed me. And I was like, someday, I don't know how, but, because they all require, because of my credit, they all require a lot of money down. It was like, well, we'll get there, we'll figure it out. And then stuff happened, and I had the down payment for one, and was able to do it, And so then the past 4 years have been basically just shelling out a lot of money every week, and slowly paying that down. I think, after the last payment I made, I was at like just over $4,000. I think after the one I made today, when I get because they email you the next day and with the little receipt, thank you for your payment, blah blah blah. So when I get the thing tomorrow, I'm actually looking forward to hopefully it showing I'm in the 3,000s now. It'll be like 3,900 that I'll still owe on that truck. So I'm looking forward to that. That's why I'm always saying progress. Keep pushing forward, keep doing what you gotta do. I'll get that that truck paid off and be one step closer to all my goals. But that's why I said, like, keep working towards your goals and don't let even yourself get in your way. Like, just keep at it, Even if you can only do a little bit at a time, keep doing it. Because, like, tonight, for instance, to get back a little bit back on track. So I've kind of been, all over the place. So I apologize, but that's why it's called Real Talk. This is me keeping it real with you guys. But I've been, how like technically we have Real Talk Tuesday and we have Storytime Friday, right? But how the past couple weeks, it's just been Real Talk Tuesday because I haven't been able to get a story out there. I've been, trying to focus on like the book projects that I have. So I have the novel. It's about 2/3 of the way done, and then I mentioned I've got a Logic Show podcast, Short Stories Volume 1, 99% done. I literally got to get the last part of the last story in there, because I have the last part, that was like part 3, I think, of The Fight Within. If you're new to this podcast, feel free to go back and look at just catch up, and then go back, I think back to like December of 2023. That's like December 26th, I believe, is when I started doing the Real Talk Tuesday and the Storytime Friday sequence, for each week, where I do what I'm doing right now, Real Talk Tuesday, and then Friday I would have a story that I would try to find time on my days off to sit down and write a story for you guys, and I would read it for Storytime Friday, And now what I'm doing for those stories, because I'm also an aspiring author, been a writer for many, many, many years, but haven't actually written a book yet. But so that's part of the things I'm, decided this year. Go ahead. I'm gonna get at it. I'm gonna start working on that, getting it done. Start getting some book projects completed. Start getting things published. Start working on making things happen for my family. Give myself options. Take more vacations or fully retire myself and be home full time with the fam. Full-time podcaster, full-time author, full-time online entrepreneur. All that fun stuff. And still coming out and driving. Like I said, maybe I'll do what my friend Dell's doing. And still being active by coming out every couple months, working for a couple weeks, and then basically going back home again, being home full time. But so I think this week's been kind of weird because of being back at Farina again. So I've been back in day shift again, but then tonight I was back on doing Chattanooga again. So I brought my computer with me, and I got to chat about an hour before I was going to get loaded to head back to Nashville. So, of course, I got all set up, ready to hook up to the trailers, and then pop my computer out. And my plan tonight was, I figured I was going to get something written. I was either going to work, get more added to my novel, or I was going to start trying to get the next Logic Show Storytime Friday story started. Because my plan is because obviously I've already got Volume 1 99% done. Just got to get that last part transcribed. Since that was the first freestyle one where I didn't write it. I just literally, because I had to get it done and hadn't been able to sit down and write for a while. So I actually just hit record and I started doing the freestyle episodes where I came up with the story off the top of my head for you guys. But now, what I'm thinking, because I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to transcribe those stories that I didn't write down, that I just literally told off the top of my head. So now what I'm going to try to start doing is I'm going to get back into actually getting on the computer and actually writing the short stories for Storytime Friday for this show, because that way every story I complete, hey, guess what? That's another story for the next book volume for this podcast and stuff. It'll be published. It'll be on obviously Amazon, everywhere else that books are sold. But I'll also have them listed on the logicshow.com website, so that way people can go directly to the website and buy them there too, to download electronically and whatnot. But so that was my goal. I've been telling myself recently, all right, I need to get back in the computer. I need to continue getting writing, some writing content put out there. Working on the next, keeping those writing projects going. And so tonight when I got to chat, that's basically what I did. I ended up I started the next short story for Storytime Friday. Probably, and I got it about because I kind of thought up, okay, what's the main plot of the story gonna be? What's gonna happen? What's the big scary thing that's gonna happen in the story? That I then got to figure out. So I'm working up to that, but basically I came up with that. I got about 5 or 6 pages in, about 3,500, about 4,000 words in, and I'm probably gonna be another 10 pages maybe, because so I got to a point before I refreshed the load board, up here in Chattanooga at FedEx, basically saw that both trailers were closed off, so I was like, all right, cool, they're ready to go. So I got to a closing point on that story, and then I hit a couple spaces, and I put a little hyphen, and I basically just put a little note as to like where I'm going with it. Like this is such and such is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and they gotta figure this out, blah blah blah. So that way, kind of a little reminder, a little note, kind of, so when I go to open it up, like hopefully tomorrow, and my plan is to start maybe over the course of each week, at least do a little bit in my novel, keep that moving forward, and maybe get work on getting, hammering out 2 or 3, at least 2 if I can, short stories for the podcast, and working ahead, getting it to where I can get back to having Storytime Fridays, keep giving you guys stories, and not get myself back into where I was like, trying to do one, trying to get at least one done each week for Friday, and then, sometime over the weekend try to get the next one done. I'm going to try to knock them out, I'm going to get this one done, and hopefully the next one done. My goal would be to be able to knock out 3 or 4 pretty quick, so that I can have 4 weeks worth already set up, and then I'm just having to do the Real Talk Tuesday episodes, and then I just edit everything, get it uploaded and scheduled, so you guys will have good old Real Talk Tuesday episodes like normal, and you guys will have Storytime Friday, because that's my plan. I'm planning to get back. That's why I haven't changed the website, and I'm not getting rid of Storytime Fridays at all. I like doing that stuff. I'm just, how it is, just been I'm trying to get out of my own way, and I'm trying to get get back into working on the things I've been working on, but I don't want to just do the Storytime Fridays and not, be working on the novel, because that's another book project that I want to publish as well, so working on all the goals, trying to get everything done. So that's basically the whole concept for the topic tonight. Is basically there's going to be times when we're struggling emotionally, because of obviously we all struggle financially. We all, we hit those little roadblocks where, too many bills, not enough money, too much month at the end of your money, and it can be depressing. It's tough, because or you have other things, you could be dealing with that plus other stuff in life. You'd have things going on that, in your personal life, or dealing with stress with your job that makes you, just drags you down, makes it so that's my problem. I have things that are going on, not just with the job, with the whole back and forth with working nights and working days, working nights again, and getting 2,700 miles some weeks, then I'm doing chat all week without the extra legs, so I'm doing 1,500 miles, and so that's stressing me out. And then when makes it to where I just I end up being unmotivated. I know what I want to do, and I know what I need to do, what I need to focus on, but I end up being, have that depression, it's making it hard to focus, hard to stay motivated, hard to do what I gotta do. And also for me, I have that weight, because I carry a lot of weight. I mean, yeah, physically I carry a lot of weight, but with my family, with things at home, being the major breadwinner and stuff, I'm just saying from my perspective, how I see things, how I feel, is I feel like for my family, for me, especially for like, you know, me and my wife, for instance, for us to achieve the things that we're after, like to get her food truck, to retire me from the job, be home full time, whatever, to not to be financially free and all that stuff, like I'm gonna have to do it. You know what I said in previous in other episodes where I talked about like you gotta actually, you can't just, or a lot of people say someday. That's the best way I can you know, kind of go work or describe kind of what I'm talking about. Is like a lot of people will say someday I'm gonna do this, someday I'm gonna do that, someday I'm gonna have someday I'm gonna have that dream business, someday we're gonna own a house, someday we're not gonna have to worry about our bills, and someday we're gonna be able to travel more. And it's a sad truth. There's a lot of us out here, you know, not just drivers, but just a lot of us in general, that it's always someday we're gonna do this, someday we're gonna do that, and then we go and work our job, and we get paid, and we buy groceries for the house, we pay our bills, and we order stuff that we want to order online, you know, because it's cool, or you know, maybe we think we need it for whatever reason. You know, could be stuff like, could be toys for the cats, it could be, you know, toys for your pets, whether it's dogs or cats, whatever. Could be house items that you think that you need. You know, but you get paid, your money disappears because you go ahead, you buy this, you buy that, you order this, you order that, you take care of this, and then you're broke again until next payday. So it's literally paycheck to paycheck, and then you're still in that same boat. Someday, you know, someday this is gonna happen. Someday things will get better. I've always tried. That's one of the biggest things that the biggest soapboxes that I've always been on, is saying that someday is never gonna happen unless you make it happen. And so, if you want a business, like if you want to be a business person and you want to start up a restaurant or something, then you have to be the one that, I mean, it's up to you. Like, no one is going to do it for you. To kind of give a little bit of an example, my wife, love her to pieces, you know. Her dream is to have a food truck, because she's a pastry chef, and she's also done a lot of the savory stuff as well. So she wants to do a food truck, and maybe a restaurant eventually, and then have like the food truck be kind of connected to the restaurant, like they can go cater or whatever. But to start out with, her dream is a food truck, and that's been the dream for a while. But from what I've seen, like my wife, she has a lot of recipes and stuff, a lot of plans for the food truck, but nothing as far as like, here, this is how I'm going to do it, this is how I'm going to accomplish it, this is how we're going to actually get it off the ground and actually buy the food truck and get it going. She'll have, like, I think it was like last week or the week before, it was one of my days off, sitting down there watching Netflix, and she's, I'm on my recliner, she's in hers, and she was telling me about, I guess a pastry chef, I think it was a pastry chef, that is in the restaurant that's connected to their restaurant. And I guess she was saying that, because they were talking about it, she's like, oh yeah, my dream is to have a food truck. And the other pastry chef goes, oh, I already got mine. And my wife's like, what? Really? Oh, cool. And she's like, yeah, I got my food truck, got it purchased. I have an investor that helped me out, and I've already got a plan when I launch it that I'm not going to take a paycheck at all for such and such amount of time until I pay back, basically my financer, get them fully paid back for the money they help me out with, and then after that, then it'll be fully debt free, and I'll start collecting profits. My wife's like, must be nice. And I thought to myself, I was like, yeah, but I was like, love, like, you could do that too. Like, all it takes is just, make a plan, set a business plan, and, just make a plan and go find investors and talk to them, show them your business plan, figure out, like, determine how much you need, you know, and then, you know, make it, like, show them, like, here's what I'm planning to do, here's the recipes I plan to do, you know, and here's like the 5-year plan or whatever. I'm not, like, to get you paid back or whatever, and just go for it, you know. But it's like, it basically gotta take action. Gotta start putting a plan together. Start trying to figure out what you want, how you want to do it. And so, like me, my goal being, you know, I want to be home full time. I want to, you know, not have to worry. Love to be able to, like, full-time podcast. Like I said, full-time podcaster, author, online entrepreneur. And I've been after it for a while. I've been technically doing stuff for years on the side, and I've been doing this podcast for the past year or whatever. And eventually the goal is be to have the podcast monetized, you know, be making money from that, making money from the online entrepreneur stuff, and have, you know, be constantly coming out with new writing projects and getting new books published, you know. And I'm doing it, you know, like, I've got the stories for the Storytime Fridays. I'm now turning into the different volumes, you know, different books that are going to get published. I've got the novel that, you know, I've got 75% completed, gonna get that finished and get that published, and I've already got ideas for the next, you know, for some of the next book ideas that I'm planning to do. But I'm out there doing it and stuff, you know, and I'm constantly working on trying to make things better. And at the same time, because I know about, like, what my wife dreams about and stuff, and so I'm trying to do. I'm also making plans for how I can help her accomplish, like, her have the things that she wants, you know, as the breadwinner and as the man of the house, trying to do what I can to give my family the life they deserve as well. You know, try to do what I can to leave a legacy for them. You know, get to a point where we have our house, where we're not hurting for money. You know, we have a, you know, legacy that we can leave behind for them. You know, to take care of them when we're gone or whatever, and not have to have them struggle like we've struggled all these years. You know, but you gotta actually make the decision to. You can't just sit around and say, well, someday this is gonna happen. Someday I'm gonna be in this position. Someday this will be easier. Someday I won't have to struggle as much. And yeah, you know, it's fine to say that, but you gotta say someday, but also be making a plan for how. You gotta be figuring out, how am I gonna get there? What about, because I mean, it's not just gonna happen. Someday is not just gonna come around the corner and say, here I am. Someday will be there, but you gotta actually, like, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now, then maybe someday will be even further down the line. Like, eventually we pay things off, and the credit will get up there for the next, like, 5 or so years, and we'd be able to finally buy a house after being married for like 20 plus years, and both our kids being out of school and whatever, and the grandkid will still be in school, but I don't want it to be another 5, 7, whatever years until we can buy a house and we're actually doing a lot better financially. So I'm working on things now. After all, admit, I put them off for a while, you know, because I had the novel I'm now working on, you know, adding more. I'm building it up and adding more to it. Technically, I started that book back in like 2011. You know, back when I had my good old Dell Netbook Mini. You know, one of those laptops by Dell. It's a little bit smaller and slow as hell. I would have completed the book back then, but that's one of those, you write about 1 or 2 paragraphs and you have to stop for like 5 minutes as you're watching the text slowly catch up to you. So that was the computer I used when I did schoolwork, when I did my online degree with University of Phoenix. While I was out on the road trucking, I would connect to Wi-Fi or whatever whenever I'd park, get online, and work on my schoolwork stuff, get my assignments completed, get them uploaded to the teacher, and then go to bed, get up the next morning, hit the road, do what I gotta do, get parked, rinse and repeat. Even though now I look back and I'll admit I kind of regret getting that education, even though I like that I have a degree, because literally I have that degree, in a drawer back at home, just like I can pull it out, look at it, like it's Christopher Michael Blodgett, or Christopher M. Blodgett, like associate's degree, associates in arts, or hospitality in arts, or something, or hospitality majors. I don't know. I don't even remember, but it was basically my major was hospitality. I guess it's an associates of arts in hospitality. And my dream back when I started that degree was to actually be in hotels or apartment complexes, with the dream to eventually maybe own my own hotel or own my own apartment complex. And I struggled to get into either of those because you'd interview, and basically they would require you. Every place I interviewed was, hey, well, we'd hire you because you seem really nice, but we actually require experience. And you don't have any. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to get. Like, so how do I get experience if everybody I've interviewed with says like, yeah, well, we require experience? They're like, well, that's not a problem. Like, I understand that, but this is the problem that I'm running into. Is like, I'm trying to get in there. If you give me a chance, I'll have the experience. I'll have some experience, and that'll open the doors for other stuff. They're like, yeah, unfortunately we can't because we require experience. All right. So I had a degree that I was never able to put to use, and struggled to get it. Got into a point where back in 2009, 2010, I actually got laid off, and I was literally off, unemployed for like a year plus on unemployment, applying everywhere, putting in applications, getting interviews. But of course, the longer you're on unemployment, the less likely jobs to hire you, because, well, you haven't worked for the past year, so then that works against you. I'm like, well, yeah, because I've interviewed like 15 places, and like they all, because of the time I've been out of work. So I ended up going to get my CDL and becoming a trucker. Here I am, I did what I had to do because it was like, well, I'm not getting hired anywhere else, and I'm gonna run out of unemployment, so I gotta get back to work and be, bringing in money or whatever. So, but then back in like 2015, 16-ish, after being over the road for like probably about 3 years at that point, I started really looking online, trying to figure out, all right, I want to be able to get home and be home full time without going to get an hourly job. I want to technically work for myself. How can I do that? Of course, I had no idea. Now I'm looking at it going, all right, I know a lot more now than I did before. But, it came through me being through me going through different things. You go through different experiences, and for instance, like now I can market online a lot better. Like I know a little bit more what I'm doing because I've done the digital marketing stuff, which again, I know it's not for everybody, but when I went through the Legacy Builder or whatever with the community and all the video step-by-step training and whatnot, it was a very good experience. And I'm still technically, that's one of the things that even though I haven't actively been, so I did it for like 3.5 months, actively doing 3 or 4 videos a day, doing lives, and over the course of 3 or 4 months, I got like 368, 369 leads on my email list. And then over the past like week or so, like week and a half, 2 weeks, I've only done a couple of short videos about the other courses that I have links to all these on the website, because I'm all about doing whatever I can to help people. And so I have some of these things that I've done as far as like e-learning courses. I have them available on the website. If you go to blodgettshow.com, click the promotions tab, you'll see every little opportunity that I have out there for you guys. But and I'll talk about those a little bit when we get to closing here. But basically, guys, you know, it's like someday may or may not happen unless, and I like to say that it won't happen unless you actually make it happen. Like, if your dream is to own a certain type of car because you just that's just one of your favorite cars in the world, you just love that car, you know, and you see that car everywhere, and you're like, oh my god, I just really want one of those cars, man. But I can't afford it, you know. You got to figure out how to do it. You know, like either put money aside, go work your way up the corporate ladder in whatever job you're doing to get to the point where you're making that income every month to where you go, all right, I could actually afford to make that payment. I just got to get the money for the down payment. You got to make it happen, you know. And like for me, one of my dreams, aside, like I have the dream of to eventually have this podcast, be monetized, whatnot. Is it way high up on the list? Not right now. Like I think higher up on the list is actually getting the first couple books published and continuing to work on future book projects. You know, to eventually be a successful author, because I know that'll help things take off as well. The online entrepreneur stuff, yes, I'm working on that. But one of the things that I was mentioning about that with the email list is, past week and a half, 2 weeks, I have literally not done anything for the Legacy Builder one, the one that's actually where people are coming through that page, and they're, you know, when they put in their information, they're literally being added onto my email list. Then they start getting emails from me automatically because there's already stuff set up. And then of course I do an occasional email where I'll reach out to people to my list and say like, hey guys, like when I got these other courses, I went ahead and reached out and said, here's some cheaper options for you guys. I know 900 for the Legacy Builder is pretty high. Even 100 for the Launchpad can be high for people. So I said I have a $49 digital marketing course. If you want to learn how to be a digital marketer, but you can't afford even $100, maybe $49 is a lot better for you. So go to, you know, blogicsshow.com/digital49, and it'll redirect you to my actual page for that course. But I also have 2 other courses. But you know, I'll cover that in a minute. But you know, it's like over the past 2 weeks when and you know how it is, guys. Like, one of the things I struggle with is like when you have something in your mind that you're trying to cover, and you cover part of it, and you start to mention something else, and all of a sudden your mind blanks, and you go, shit, what was I talking about? I have that problem. But so before moving on to the things kind of closing, within the past 2 weeks, I haven't done much with my Legacy thing at all. So I've kind of been focusing on the cheaper other courses that I now offer. But I've noticed when every so often I'll log on to my System.io account, and I'll check my leads, and I'll look at my contact list. And actually, within the past 2 weeks, even without me doing anything, because I still have a shit ton of videos out there, probably have maybe so do 3 or 4 videos a day for about 3 months. So you figure for at least 2.5 months, you figure probably like 180, maybe 200 videos that are out there available. They're floating around there that people can come across. They can, it has my website at the bottom of the videos. So in the past 2 weeks, I've still gone up. Like, I think I was at like 371 or 72, and I think when I looked earlier today, I kind of was curious, so I thought, let me go check where I'm at. I was up to like 378, so in the past 2 weeks, I've gone up like 7 more leads on my email list, and that's without me doing anything. That's just, I implemented what I learned at the Legacy Builder, and I was consistent every day for a while, and yeah, I may not have gotten because I got a couple sales when I first started. Honestly, you see all these people online, they're like, oh my god, look at this, I made 20,000 my first month, I made 7,000 this month, I made 15,000, and like, but these people have huge followings. Like, you know, a lot of people on their following that follow them from business to business, so it's easy for them to go from one business to another and have all their people, their downline follow them, and of course, if they get more people to join them and pay that big money and make that recruiter a lot of money, because they have people that will just follow them blindly, like, oh, I'm gonna join this one now, I'm gonna join this one now, and then they don't help them, you know. Because a lot of those big recruiters, yeah, they post a lot of payment proof from other people and post their own payment proof and stuff. But, you know, it's like, I'm one of those, I like to consider myself an honest business person, you know, an honest online marketer, online entrepreneur. I'm not gonna go out there and post fake payment proof. There are people that will do that. I posted when I had those 2 sales my first week. I made $1,000 my first week, so I basically I got my $900 back, and I made almost $100 in the green. And I had a lot of people over the course of the next 2 months that probably have at least 30 or so that, you know, because of the fact that they know that I don't bullshit people, I keep it real, I'm not gonna lie to you. 30 people that say, oh yeah, like, I want to work with you, and I plan to do Legacy Builder because it makes sense to go all in like you did. You know, I just got to get the money together. I'm like, okay, yeah, it makes sense, you know. And I look at it, and I've always preached how it's a rejection-free business, because after they get through your page, everything is all set up, it's automated. So you're not having to get in people's inboxes and stuff. You can. People do message people about it and try to talk them into it, but you're not supposed to. Like, literally, you're supposed to just set everything up. Go through the training, do what I was doing, do the videos and whatnot. Like, maybe it's because I've always laughed and joked around with my friend Sabrina that I think women entrepreneurs and marketers online end up having a lot easier success than men out here, because, like, a lot of people, especially other, like, guys in general, a lot of us, you know, will flock to the women with big opportunities a lot more than we'll flock to other guys. I don't know why it is, you know, because it's not saying that women are more honest than men or men are more honest than women, you know, but I've just noticed that there'd be a lot more successful women on the internet in different programs. Like, I made 20,000, you know, but, you know, it gets to that point where you see those and you're like, okay, I wonder how real that is, though. Like, are these people really making that money, or are they just posting these screenshots of different people's posts so for them to make, you know, to make money? Because a lot of people with Legacy Builder, yeah, you can be really successful, but I think where it is, what the good part about it is the knowledge that you get. Because, yeah, I haven't made a whole lot of money in it, but I know a lot more now compared to what I did before, and it's helped me in the other things too. Like, when I got these other courses, now I can go about the same approach. I'm just doing it with these courses while still leaving my Legacy Builder side up as well. And that way I can still get leads. They can come see my other videos. They can still join my email list, and watch. And randomly, like, as I keep doing a video here, a video there, like so for instance, before I go on, that Legacy Builder program that has 4 different courses, the one that I went all in with is a $900 Legacy Builder program. With that one, you get all 4 courses. You get the Legacy Builder plus the courses below that, which are the $600 Digital Mastery, you get the $300 Passive Daily Pay Blueprint, you get the $100 Launchpad. So it's a $1,900 value that you get for $900, because you get a lot of bonuses and whatnot too. That one, if you want to check that out, information is free. You don't have to actually buy anything to actually see what that's all about. But basically, like, again, like, I'm not promoting that as a, hey, because I mean, a lot of people promote that as, hey, $900 daily pay. And yeah, you know, if you have let's say you already have a following, you have an email list, you can tap, yeah, you can get paid every day for that. You can make sales every day. You get people coming in paying the 900 or 600 or 300 or 100. It's instant pay that you get directly to you, like, instantly. But if you don't have a huge following, it's going to take some time to grow to that. And that's what some of the knowledge that you get when you're working through any of those courses. You have access to community. There's like on my chat board that people are posting about their success. There's weekly live training webinars that, you know, help. Basically, it's to help people continue to grow, you know, continue to do what they gotta do, to give them tips and pointers and whatnot, you know. Apologies, guys, I had to grab some water real quick, but it's really an amazing, amazing like program, and you know, amazing community, and the lady that created it, it's pretty awesome. But for me, I noticed, because I don't have the following, I did exactly as she started with like a free or like a brand new TikTok account and stuff like that. And when she's talking about it in her videos, like, yeah, I started with a brand new TikTok account, didn't have any following, and like I just started, you know, did two or three short videos a day that would go live, and I made 7,000 my first month, 14 my second. My 6 months, I made like my first 100K, and then, you know, like a year and a half, I was at $1 million, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it exactly the way I was taught, but I didn't have that, you know, those same results as she did. But that doesn't mean that, you know, because I could be doing something a little bit, you know, a little bit different. But again, like, those videos are always out there, and I learned a lot of really good skills. And so, what the great thing about doing Legacy Builder and stuff is the fact that there's that community, you can ask questions, whatever. But so for that one, check that out. You know, go to blodgetshow.com/freedom. FREEDOM. Put your email in there, reply back to my email with any questions you have, check it out. Again, the information is free. You can just check it out, not have to, you know, you can unsubscribe if you check it out and you're like, yeah, this is not for me, you can just unsubscribe. But that's why I also, you know, for people who maybe like even the $100 for that launch pad, because you can join at any of them, but let's say $100 is still too much for some people, which it happens. You know, there's a lot of us out here struggling. Maybe $49 is the, you know, is a little bit more affordable. Let's say you still want to learn digital marketing, but you don't have the money to come into at the higher courses that I mentioned. You know, with the blodgetshow.com/freedom. You can go to blodgetshow.com/digital49, and it's I have a $49 digital marketing course. Gives you a lot of material to help you learn how to become a digital marketer and stuff. You just don't have like the community and all that stuff, all the step-by-step video training. You have a lot of material that you're gonna get access to. And when I say step-by-step video training, I mean, like, you're not gonna have video of somebody literally like showing their screen and walking you through it, but there's a lot of material, a lot of educational material that you're gonna have access to, that you're gonna to teach you how to do what you gotta do to start learning that skill. But you know, it's cheaper, so it's more affordable and whatnot. So again, blodgetshow.com/digital49 for that one. But the other two courses that I actually that I offer now, because I know some of us, maybe you're not, you know, maybe you're into affiliate marketing. You're not necessarily a digital marketer, but you're part of a couple affiliate programs, and maybe you're not doing very well. You're trying to figure out how to, you know, how to actually get better at that. Maybe start actually succeeding. You know, trying to figure out maybe what am I doing wrong. You know, I've done affiliate marketing stuff too, and again, I've not really been hugely successful in those either. But you know, mainly because I'm not very good at like trying to recruit. But if that is something that you're actually doing, and you want to learn how to do it, or let's say you want to get into affiliate marketing, you want to learn how to do it. Whether you want to better your current skills or whether you're brand new, go to blodgetshow.com/affiliate. AFFILIATE, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I believe that off the top of my head. I believe that's how I spell affiliate. You know, been a long day, guys. It's all good. But blodgetshow.com/affiliate, and check that out. Now, let's say that you're not an online marketer at all, and you're actually, let's say you just love to, like, let's say you're passionate about cooking, but let's say you're one of those that, you know, you love to cook, but maybe you can't cook, like you're not very good at it, you know. my sister-in-law, my wife will tell anybody that listens that her sister will burn water. I've always kind of given her a hard time. Like, I don't think it's possible. Though. She goes, no, seriously, she'll burn water. I'm like, oh wow, okay. So apparently she's not. I don't know if that's changed. If she's actually can cook now. But you know, and I'll admit, like, I'm nowhere near the cooking level that my wife is. So you know, but I actually can cook. Like I have certain things that I can do, like meatloaf. I've done like steak, fried okra. I've done pot roast. You know, hell, I've baked broiled chicken or oven baked chicken or whatever, like the whole chicken where you stuff the bird a little bit with like a stick of butter and whatever else, herbs, and you melt butter over the top. You know, stuff like that. But it's little things like that that people that don't really have many like cooking skills at all. Like they've never really cooked much, except maybe like the microwave things. Maybe you want to learn how to cook, you know, learn some skills. I have a course for that as well. Can check that out as well. You know, these websites that I have these courses are very professionally set up. They look professional. Hell, I even like it better than my Legacy Builder website. Even though my website now with Legacy Builder is even better than when I first started, because I kind of changed it up. I followed my mentor's example, as she had some recommendations for making the site look a little bit better, a little more user-friendly. So, but my cooking and my affiliate marketing course and my $49 digital marketing course, I love those sites. Those are pretty awesome. You know, very straightforward, very simple. They work through PayPal, so it's easy to, as far as like checking out, very simple. But to learn some cooking skills, if you want to better your cooking skills, go to bloggershow.com/masterchef. MASTERCHEF as in Frank. And check it out. But on that note, guys, since I've rambled on long enough, kind of giving you guys a little rundown of those those other programs, you know, as far as the topic at hand, just gotta, it's like, know what you want and go after what you want, and keep going after it until you get it. And nobody's in control of it. Nobody controls your future except you. Nobody can make your dreams happen except yourself. Like, no one's gonna hand it to us. No one's gonna walk in the door of your apartment or whatever and hand you a deed to a house, say, here, congratulations, you're a homeowner, or congratulations, you're a business owner, or hey, congratulations, here's a check, you're financially free now. You know, like, it's not gonna happen. Anything that you dream about, no matter what it is, you can have what you're after. It can happen. No matter how extreme it might, seem, to you know, to you or anybody else. Like, you might have a dream to have $1 million one day, you know, to have a net worth of like $1 or $2 million or whatever, and have a mansion or whatever. And people will be like, yeah, come on now, you gotta be realistic. You know, like my parents, for instance, when I talked about like wanting, because I've never really liked the idea of working for someone else and working until I'm 65 or 70 just to retire and not really have a whole lot to live off of, you know, even after retirement. And so I've always, for a while, you know, I've had a kind of an entrepreneurial, you know, goal. Like I've wanted to have the money I need, but not have to be killing myself for it, and, you know, be able to be home with the family. My dad especially was one that would tell me, you know, oh, just that's unrealistic. Like, everything out there is a scam. Go out there, get a regular job, work at McDonald's, start at the ground floor, work your way up to management, and just, you know, like, you know, just eventually you'll be able to work up to that management level. You'll be able to retire with a pension, and, you know, that's success. I was like, that just sounds like crap. Like, it sounds horrible. it's never been my dream, you know. Like for some people, that is their dream, you know, to be successful at their job, and eventually they get to that point where they've been with the company for 30 or 40 years, and they retire and they get a monthly retirement pension, and you know, and hey, you know, as long as the important thing is, as long as we're happy when we get to that point where we've achieved what we're after. If somebody wants to work their job till they're 65, 70, and then they retire and they're happy, they're fulfilled in their life, they actually are, you know, accomplished what they wanted, hey, you know, that's all that matters. But I know for me, I want to be able to actually enjoy life before that point. I want to be able to spend time with my family now, and not spend the majority of my time slaving away, working long hours. You know, having days where I barely sleep because I work from like the previous afternoon until like noon the next day, and you know, it's technically my day off. I go to bed for 5 hours, get up and hang out with fam Sunday night for a little bit until they go to bed. And then I enjoy a full day off on Monday. Even though I like what I do, like I like my job, I would like that. Like I talked to a guy recently that, you know, he had asked me, he was, what are you after? He was, what, like, are you after time freedom or financial freedom? I said, I'm after both time and financial freedom. I said, I want to be able to pay the things I need to pay, be able to do the things I need to do money-wise. But I said, but I also am after the time freedom to be able to spend time with the fam, to be able to travel, to be able to get back into like actively go to the gym every day for like an hour. You know, because I had a workout routine at one point, and I was actually, you know, I was toning up. People were saying, "Oh, hey, look at you, like you're getting thinner." But then things happened. My schedule changed. I haven't been able to do it for a while. But I told them, like, time freedom is a big thing for me because I want to be able to actually have an active workout routine where I can actually be working on my health, like trimming up, looking better, feeling better, being healthier, so I can actually be around for my family a lot longer versus like right now. If I do what I'm currently doing and I don't make any changes health wise, then I don't know if I'll make it to 70 because, you know, it's one of those things like you know, if you don't change things up when you're not exactly in the healthiest state, then you probably might just, you know, not make it to that point. But that's not an acceptable option for me. That's why I'm working on things I'm working on, so I can eventually give myself options, hope sooner rather than later, and get out of here and be home with fam, get back in the gym, get healthy, you know, and literally be able to live a nice long life, but also have the money to do what we got to do, because I will have accomplished the things I'm after. So anyway, y'all, I've talked your ear off enough. Sorry if this episode's a little bit long, but I appreciate you being here. Hope you found value in the topic tonight. Keep doing what you're doing. You know, don't give up. Even if you have down days, if you have depression that seems to drag you down, make you basically get in your own way, just keep at it. You know, you don't have to do a lot, but do at least a little bit every week to work towards those goals. Like for me, like today, I got a little bit written on the story for Storytime Friday. Probably, hopefully, you know, work on finishing it a little bit tomorrow. Maybe get a little bit added to my novel, and you know, continuing to do little things. Like I think I listened to a podcast tonight where this guy talks about, he's a YouTuber, and it took him years before he actually got monetized, like before he had enough followers. But he said that he almost gave up, but then he told himself, you know what, I'm gonna just do at least one video a week. Like at least one video a week. If I could do more than that, I'll do more, but otherwise I'm just gonna get at least one out there. And he said eventually, he said the first 1,000 subscribers took forever, but then after that, the second 1,000 was a little bit quicker. The third was a little even more quicker. I thought, okay, that makes sense. You know, because I was literally for months doing like 3 or 4 videos a day, so I have a lot of videos out there. But now I'm like, all right, maybe I can just, you know, I'm not getting the sales currently, but I am getting leads, people joining my email list, I am getting listeners on my podcast. So I said I just need to keep consistent, like just do at least, something each week, video-wise. Put videos out there for the different courses I offer. Be consistent with this podcast. Be out there, be out here getting a real Talk Tuesday episode out for you guys. And now working on actively getting stories put together so I can resume the Storytime Friday episodes for you guys, while at the same time compiling those stories into one actual project for each novel, or for each the Blonde Show podcast short stories volumes. So like volume 1's pretty much done. The story I started tonight is the beginning of volume 2, so that people will not only be able to hear the stories read to them, or told to them on the podcast episode, but eventually, as I get these published, people will have the ability to actually purchase them. Probably digital and physical copies, but right now I'm just trying to get them put together so that way when I talk to a publisher, probably the next couple of weeks, I can be like, look, I have this much. These are what I have book projects put together so far. What do you think? Like basically, I'm trying to find out if we'll be able to work together, and like what he thinks about them and stuff like that. Because it's me. I'm trying to make steps moving forward to work towards those goals. Because I'm like, someday it's never gonna happen unless I do it. So I'm after it. But anyway, y'all, you guys are awesome. I apologize for this long ass episode. Did not intend to go this long, but I always try to come on here and give you guys as much value as I can, and hopefully pretty soon you guys will have stories and Fridays again, and a lot of other good stuff coming as well. But again, if the courses I mentioned, if any of those sound intriguing and you want more information, go to those links, or go to, let's see, here at this point you're like, what were those links again? Go to blondeshow.com and click the little drop down menu, and there's one that says promotions that actually has a bunch of little random links. But if you do the drop down menu and you see MasterChef, you see affiliate, you see $49 course, and you see freedom, those are the links for the different courses I offer that you can check out. Freedom is the one you can put in your email and reply back to my email. The other three you don't have to put in your email to opt in that list or whatever. So you can check them out and see what you think. But on that note, you know what I always say, guys: keep pushing forward, keep believing. Believe you can, believe you will, and you're already halfway there. And then you just have to go out there and do it. But on that note, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. Keep doing what you're doing. Have a great rest of your week. And I will talk to you again on the next episode. Have a good one.